What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar with C-Zar Gets Crypto, and we are looking at Bitcoin Cash today. I wanted to make a video on this last night. I just didn't, man. My throat was hurting me. The more I talked, I had a video for Bitcoin yesterday, and at some point during that video, my throat started hurting, and it was like talking made my throat hurt. I feel better now. I'm over it, and I'm over talking about it. So let's get into the TA here. At the moment, we're having a green day. We're up 3.1%, which is nice to see after a couple red days. Maybe not nice for me. I'm not in Bitcoin Cash, but it's, anyone who's in it, it's probably nice to see. What's not nice to see is that about half of this, maybe not quite half of this. Let's measure. Let's see. From bottom to top here, that's 3.5%. From bottom to top here, that's like 2. So basically, almost nearly half of this candle is a wick to the upside and to the downside. It's just an indecision candle. Again, you're getting all these kind of like you got a bullish looking candle here followed by a very bearish looking candle. This is an indecisive kind of action that we saw, and we're experiencing more indecisive action right now. You've got wicks to the upside and the downside. When you experience indecision at a topping range, it's not normally a good thing. That normally does mean that you're going to come down. I've said that before. This, you had a bearish looking candle, but the next day it's not. You didn't have this weeble wobble. You didn't like, maybe I should go up from here. No, you're like, screw that, we're going up from here. This day here, you're like, screw that, we're going up from here. These weren't indecisive candles. These were bearish candles here, but there was a lot going on the 4 hour too to suggest that we were going to go higher. But anyways, that's beside the point. At the moment, we are experiencing indecisive price action. Being at a range that's at the top, and I would say that this is at the top. I feel comfortable saying that because from bottom to top we went up 263%. We're still up over 200% at the moment. There's 5 hours and 47 minutes left in this day. This day has enough time left in it where, even if it had an hour left, it has enough time left in it where it could close red. I don't know if it's going to. We're gonna figure that out. I have this line drawn on the RSI right here, because this is where, if the day closes green, that would mean that we have a bounce here. If it closes red, it won't bounce here. It would actually just look like a straight line down. It would go through this white line. But if we go back, you can see here you had a little resistance here, definitely some significance. A little bounce here, semi-significance in this area, right? Kind of right there too. A little bounce there, semi-significant here. It's a line that seems to be, I would say, respected more or less to some degree. It's not the most significant line out there, but bouncing here could promote the idea that we do go up a little bit higher. That is possible, although I do think it would be weird. I don't know, man. I just think it'd be weird to go back into the overbought zone from here. Like any move up from here, I don't think it would be long lived. I guess here we were in the overbought zone, we came down, we came up, a little bit. I don't know. This to me, it just looks different. We were way further in the overbought zone. We came out, we tested it and proved it as resistance, and we rejected. I really wouldn't expect, even if this day closes green, I wouldn't expect this line to promote much significance. Though maybe today we're bouncing because of it. And again, it's semi-significant, so we're getting a semi-significant green day. I don't know. Looking at the long-term RSI, we're well above the 50, which is nice to see. That does give us room to move down. If we were to move down to the purple line, this could come down and be well above the 50 still, and it wouldn't look bad, be a common kind of retracement. Pardon me. I'm sorry. Like I said, I had a sore throat last night. I don't know what's wrong with me. But at the moment, from bottom to top on Bitcoin Cash, we've yet to see any kind of retracement on a regular fib basis, right? On a regular fib scale. Maybe this low isn't the one to take. Maybe we're supposed to measure it from here, and at which case we did bounce off the 236. But then we rejected the 0.69. I don't really like that. I don't normally base my fibs like this. I do like to go from top or bottom to top. Like if I was to do it here at this bottom, which I normally wouldn't, but you could, it just depends, you could. But then I'd probably want to take like this top here. And again, we're not really on any significant areas, right? Because if I'm going to do it down here, I should do it up here, right? I'm not going to nitpick to make it fit. That's not how fibs work, man. You don't nitpick. You look around and you want to make sure you find one that is respected, but ultimately you got to use price areas that make sense. That's my opinion about it. So from this relative low to this relative high, that makes sense to me, you know. And with that, talking about what makes sense, we haven't seen a retracement yet, and I would expect that we would at least, honestly, at a minimum, see this 200 area at the 382, but honestly, more likely this 173 area at the 0.5. If you missed any of my videos earlier this week, I know I have a lot of new subscribers. By the way, thank you guys. Thank all of you guys. I have 125 new subscribers within the last 28 days, so that is the majority of you, and I very much appreciate your confidence in me and just the will to, I don't know, participate in this channel. Just thank you for the subscriptions, guys. But maybe you've missed some of my videos, some of you new people here, where I've talked about and I've gone through and measured many of Bitcoin Cash's retracements, right? And they all, almost always, like, there was one time where I went to the 382, and that was still a 63% drop from top to bottom. But every other instance has been from a significant bottom to a significant top, you know, in a relative range, whatever. It always retraces to the 0.5 or lower. And if it doesn't go to the 0.5, actually, it does go slightly above it, but I'd say this 0.5 area. So 180 could be the target, but at the moment, I'm definitely anticipating 173 or lower. I do have buy orders set at 180, and I am layered from 180 to like 145 at the moment. But that's kind of, I chose 145 because that's where I think it could like go at its lowest, maybe 135 at its lowest, but I never try to catch the absolute low. If I think 135 is the lowest it could go, which at the moment I do, I'm going to put it above there. I don't try to catch the low. I don't try to catch the top. I try to catch the majority of the move. You can try and catch the low, you can try and catch the top all you want. You might find success in that more than I have. Just personally, I don't find success in that. So I find more success getting the general move instead of the precise tops and precise bottoms. That's just not my style. At the moment, let's see here. At the moment, you know, the week did close red. It's not a bearish looking weekly close. There's not, you know, a whole lot of volume coming in, but fair volume, you know, comparatively to everything else. We just still haven't seen really a dramatic retracement, or even not dramatic, but just like a normal retracement, which, by the way, from this price, that's not at the right price. Let's see. From this price, a normal quote-unquote retracement would be about 32% or more from the current price down, based on this fib scale. So I don't think this move is done. I don't think that because we're having a 3.4% day to the upside that it's go time, that I'm wrong, that the bears are screwed and that the bulls are back. Like, I don't think that. All you're doing is forming lower highs. You had a lower low here. You just formed a lower high. What are we going to do? We're probably going to form another lower low. I mean, look at it, you know, on the 4. I know on the daily it might look like it's not as obvious, like, oh, but these days we're highs here, we're higher than that. No, on the 4 hour it's very, very obvious, right? High, 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 all lower. And each time, what precedes it? Each time from this high, we went to a low. From this high, we went to a lower low. From this high, I guess technically we haven't had a lower low yet, you know, but I wouldn't put too much on this high here. It looks different than these ones, right? It definitely looks different than these ones. So I wouldn't put too much on it. We're still in this diagonal kind of descension down, and I do anticipate that we're going to move lower from here. Still, being above the 50 on the 4 hour is nice. It's good to see for the bulls. You know, unfortunately, I shouldn't say unfortunately. If we can keep going from here, if you can get a 4 hourly close above kind of like the 285 area, it'll start to look better. Really, if you get a daily or a 4 hour close above the 292 area, that would definitely imply that we might be pulling a first time ever for Bitcoin Cash and not seeing a deeper or a regular retracement, and we're just going to go higher. I don't anticipate that at the moment, but that is, you know, that's all options are in play until we get our resolution, basically. And at the moment, we haven't seen any resolution. At the moment, we are in this price range. We are kind of on the lower half of it, right? If we took a low here to a top here, the halfway point would be right here. We are in the lower half. That's what the 0.5 is, right? That's halfway through it. If this, from top to this low, if this was a whole price range, we are on the lower halves of it. We have spent the majority of our time on the lower half on the RSI recently, you know, while we've been in this lower half. That's not a good thing. That's a sign of weakness normally. And again, I don't really see this as a low. I don't see this as like a higher low, so I wouldn't treat it as such. It'd be kind of weird if we did go up from here. and for a bunch of reasons, man. It would really be strange to me to see us so overbought, coming down, coming out of it, testing it as resistance, rejecting it, and then coming back up to it, just bouncing off of this area. It wouldn't make sense to me. It really wouldn't make sense to me. So I definitely am anticipating lower prices. I know the day is green at the moment, but there is potential for it to close red. Let's see on the 1 hour. We went to the overbought zone and we rejected it. This RSI doesn't look half bad though on the 1 hour. You know, it's got higher lows, higher highs. You could make another stride higher from here. And maybe you go higher on a closing basis than 279. Maybe you do close above 280 actually. But all that would do probably, it depends how much higher. If you close barely above this, you'd probably have bearish divergence. If you could close fairly above it, like 285 or higher, you would probably negate that bearish divergence, and this would start to look good. You are, what's kind of strange is you're above the 50, right? You're above the 50 on this long-term RSI. And I have kind of a rule with this. If you're above the 50 on the long-term RSI, but you're below the purple line, it's just a matter of time before you go up. Well, here we are, below the purple line and above the 50 this whole time. We have been lingering. We've actually been testing this purple line as resistance several times on the 1 hour. And at the moment, we're getting the kind of behavior that I would expect where you come up above it just for a little bit and then you come back below it. We're getting the behavior that I would normally see if this RSI was below the 50. So above this level or not, the way that it's interacting with this purple line tells me to kind of forego that normal rule. And sometimes I forego this rule and it's not good. Sometimes I do and it's appropriate. But I think this is one of those appropriate times where I think we're going to go lower from here. I would be very surprised if we went too much higher than this. It wouldn't surprise me if we went a little bit higher, even higher than this high here. But I definitely wouldn't expect that we're making a move to $300. I'd be surprised if we went to 290. If we went above 285, that's fine. I think it would start to look a little bit better, but at the moment I would more anticipate kind of just barely above 280, 281 if we were to go higher. If not, we could just go lower from here. It looks like we got above. Again, the way that this is interacting with this purple line, it just looks like we got above, perfect time to sell, and now we're going to go down and make our next leg down. And that's kind of my anticipation at the moment. Let's look at, I don't normally look at the 15-minute, but let's dissect it. Let's go. Let's do it. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know. Man. I don't really know what to make of this. 15-minute looks fine, honestly, on the RSI. I would say this looks fine at the moment, especially if you hold this kind of trend on the RSI, just like the 1 hour where you're having these higher lows and higher highs. If you can hold this 50 area too while maintaining these higher lows, that could spell good things for sure. You could definitely in the short term make a move up here, and it looks so big on this chart, right? It looks so far away compared to the daily, but really this is only if you were to move up here, that's just another 3%. So that's not really much to to get excited about. Unless you're like day trading this thing, that could make you some decent gains for the day. I would very much be surprised if we came back into this overbought zone. We were so hot for so long. I think it wants to cool off more. Let's just go back and see in time, like here, you were in the overbought zone, you came out of it and you came back, but it wasn't like this. You were in the overbought zone for like a day or two and then you came down below it. Here you're in the overbought zone for like a week. You know what I mean? And then you went below it. And really what you did was you formed a range in the RSI up here. This is kind of its own range right here. And then once you broke out of it, you cooled off hard. Once you broke out of it, I think we're cooling off right now, and I don't think we're done cooling off. Same thing here, right? You have your little range, then you cool off real hard, right? Let's see if there's anything kind of comparable to like what we're seeing in the RSI at the moment. I don't know. This is kind of comparable right here, actually. This is pretty comparable, right? We were overbought for quite a while, broke out of the range, came back up, tested this as resistance, and then we cooled off all the way down to the 50. This is kind of an appropriate, I would say that's an appropriate cooling off. Let's see what price was doing at this point in time. Let's see here. From bottom to top, you only went down to about the 382. This might be that one time I was talking about. I don't remember that we went to the 382. I don't think this was it. Maybe I measured the overall move, because I mean this It definitely went lower. I don't know, if we were doing something like this, it wouldn't need to go lower than the 382. If we were doing something, if we could hold a 50 bounce on the RSI like this, we might not go as low as I was thinking. But I don't know if that would spell good things for the future. That could spell, we have like, I don't know. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. I don't know. Something to watch for bullish hope definitely would be a bounce off of the 50 area on the RSI. That would definitely be something you'd want to see, because this, I have to say, this looks pretty similar. Definitely looks pretty similar to me. The only thing different with this move is it's not as strong. It's a little bit more methodical, I would say. But anyways, let's see. Is that the move? I want to see. Is that the move? That's not the move. Because I measured it on the weekly, so I wouldn't have caught that. And we're on the weekly now, but this could not be the topping point on the weekly. So who really knows? To be fair, guys, just seeing that right now definitely makes me a little bit more aware of this 382 area being at 201. Let's see how we interact with this area. See how we interact with the 50. If you can hold this, you don't even have to hold the 50. You could hold like right here where you're having previous tops. If you can hold somewhere in this range between like 50 and 54 on the RSI, that could be it. That could be the most retracement that you see, and then it is go time from there. Then it is go time to new highs, probably above $400 or $500 even. But at the moment, that's not my genuine impression. But we'll see. We'll see. I'll make videos on this every day and just kind of keep you guys informed, obviously, as to what my opinions are. To be fair too, I don't know. I guess you did get oversold, so never mind. I was about to say it was strong that you didn't get oversold, but you did. But it's still, this reaction afterwards, you're hanging below the 50 most of the time. You are above the 50 now, but it doesn't take much to get back down. And any time we've been above the 50, we did come back down. We had a little neutral phase for a second here, and then down. I say any time. It was just once. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm definitely not bullish at the moment, but seeing that wherever it was, seeing that retracement down near to the 382, but not quite touching that definitely puts a little caution on me, thinking that it could go down this low. I still definitely am anticipating. I'm not moving my buy orders away from here in this zone. I do have a buy order at 180 as well. That's my highest buy order, but if we get a bounce off of this area, if we get a bounce off the 50 like this, I might have to buy higher. I still wouldn't buy here at 275, but maybe I buy around 240 or 230 or something like that. At the most like 250, something like that. By the time it like comes down, bounces back, and gets above this 236, that'd be a very bearish or a bullish look actually. But that's not my anticipation at the moment. That's not what I'm thinking is going to happen. It could happen, but let's just see here. Let us see. I don't know what else to say, man. We can go to the monthly. Just go to like the overall aspect, the outlook of this thing. I don't think it's done. I definitely don't think it's done. This is not a top like this was or like this was. This is the beginning, right? You had a nice accumulation zone, very nice accumulation zone, and you just broke. You literally in 1 month. And it was I say 1 month, but it was really more like 2 weeks. But in 1 month, you engulfed over a year's worth of price action. Like literally had the highest close that you've seen since April of last year. You just engulfed all this in one month. Literally, actually, it was like 2 weeks. So I do think that this is good tidings for the future. I do think that this means that we are on our way up for sure. And ultimately, this does kind of look like some kind of W, you know what I mean? Like this whole kind of formation, and that's good, but we can have significant pullbacks along the way, right? Just like here at the bottom, we had this nice pump to start the move up, right? But we did have ultimately a 69% drop from top to bottom there over 2 months. So we could, take a month or 2 months even or longer even without moving higher. We could, although I would think that we would see more immediate continuation than that. But we'll see. We will see. At the moment, I've made this kind of public. My opinion on this month is that we do come down further, right? Probably down to this area. And then by the end of the month, the last week of the month, we'll probably have a bullish rally back up to maybe the current price areas, maybe just below, maybe just above, but somewhere we'll have like a big wick to the downside for this month, and that'll be a very bullish looking thing, I think. But who knows? Who really knows? I don't know. Well, time will tell. And yeah, I don't know. I keep saying I don't know. So with that, if you like the video, leave a thumbs up, subscribe to see more, and I will see you guys on the next one. Have a good day. Take care. Bye-bye.